Oh gosh, biggest turning point for my life, I went to Germany for 3 weeks to work with Syrian refugees in Frankfurt. And it kind of opened my perspective of what it means to love people outside of yourself, helping people who have been taken out of their normal by force and helping them feel like humans again. It just turned out to be what I really liked. So I was 16, something like that, and it just completely changed the trajectory of my life. I'm a missionary. I go overseas and I tell people about Jesus, teach English as a second language. I also do welding as a trade, so I oftentimes will go to places like Thailand, Cambodia to build playgrounds for orphanages. So yeah, I like it. It's fun.
When I turned 35, I went on a spiritual journey, to discover myself. When you go through life, you start to lose yourself. When you're at the point of not knowing who you are, not knowing where you're going, that causes, depression, anxiety, and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, well, there must be a change, or there has to be a change. So, because I was raised in a Christian home. So, it's like a one-track type of mind, per Bible and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, when I started to see, what path I was going, I was like, well, I need a change in my life. Then I went on that spiritual journey, and when I discovered that spiritual journey without obligation to any other religion or anything like that, I started to understand myself more. Everybody is going by, what social media influencers and, what they're doing and all that kind of stuff, but I'm different from that. Once I understood that and understood what my purpose is in this life of bringing originality, individuality, and just being myself, that can produce change, for everybody to be themselves.
When I realized that everything that I was looking for outside of myself, I could find inside. Actually, I would say it's probably been in the last couple of years. The trigger was actually other people doing things to me that were really painful after a long season of me people pleasing for years, and then seeing how no matter how much I did that they still didn't see me as positive. And I had to really contend with what is true about me then? And I kind of realized I was contributing a lot of that because of the beliefs I had about myself, and I was looking for a lot of affirmation from the outside to come in, and I had to really decide to go within. And then when I did, I found that I really could find all of the truth about me inside, and that if I looked around to find it from the outside, that it was always going to be variables and changing. So I think it was actually through external challenges and that I had to kind of go inward and sit with myself. Yeah, it's actually been really cool because I feel like I've started to really approach the way that I engage with people or the way I engage with myself, and the decisions I make are based off of what feels good, and realizing that this is the life I get to choose and I'm the creator of it. So I get to decide what I want, and if something doesn't feel good to me, then I can just change it. I can walk away from people or circumstances, or I can just objectively see them kind of as it's just happening and no longer take it internally as a personal reflection of me, or even let it stick to me, and just kind of realize wow, that's just, even if someone's acting in a way that's really inflamed, that used to bother me a lot, and now it's just kind of funny to me to see that almost people are having tantrums, and sometimes things just happen, but I don't have to feel as responsible for them anymore.
The biggest turning point of my life would be my breakup with my ex-girlfriend. My 5-year relationship. That was the turning point. At that point, I felt freed, and I was able to do everything I wanted to do. Not in the sense of her holding me back, but just being free. Was able to travel to different places, explore different things about myself that I didn't even know I wanted to do. That definitely was a changing point in my life 3 years ago. Before 3 years ago, I was someone who, I was afraid of being alone. I was not independent. I always felt like I needed to have someone by my side or just attached with me to be able to just be happy. But now I can say that I'm happy being alone, happy being myself.
Meeting my wife of 39 years, Melissa, I approached her, and I was 18 and she was 15. I approached her and told her that God told me she was going to be the wife of my wife and the mother of my children. 39 years later, 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Here we are. Big turning point. Happy days. Really, actually, I didn't even know I was lonely. I just knew something was missing, you know? It's hard to explain in life. Something was missing. But when I saw her, it's like nothing was missing anymore.
It wasn't just a point, it was a series of events. I was raised in a Christian home, and that's been the basis of my life ever since, keeping my eyes focused on God and following Him. And all my decisions, everything that I've done is based on the way I was raised. So from birth to when we got married, I was 20 years old when we got married. We've been married 52 years, and God's been at the center of it the whole time, and He gets all the credit for us being together that long.
I would say probably knowing Jesus Christ as my Savior is the biggest turning point in my life too. And to learn that, we had to lose our first child, and he was with us from then on. So we've been searching around Roanoke today, just looking at the different places, and we went to the graveyard of our daughter, and it's been 49 years since she passed away. So I've been serving Him for a long time.
Long time. You learn you have to live with it, move on, and just follow. God's got a plan for all of us, and if we'll just listen, He'll lead us down that path. And He makes not everything happy, but He makes everything good. Look forward to seeing her again someday.
Yeah.
So the camera is here, obviously, right? So what we're going to do, Laura, so it doesn't look like we're staring at the camera, we're going to look like he's interviewing us right over here, because you never want to stare at the camera, because it looks like you're staring at the camera.
The big turning point in my life was when I changed careers. And I decided that I had been a flight attendant for 27 years, and I had had enough, and I'm in a new career now, and I am happier than ever. There were a lot of obstacles, 911 being a big obstacle. Things definitely changed after that, and I was right out of college when I became a flight attendant, and it was fun then, but it got to be very tasking.
Well, there's no doubt about it. It's October the 12th, 2023. 51 years ago today, my mother passed away. That's a turning point. When you think about you're 8 years old, you're in a cafeteria line, you're there thinking your mother's going to survive surgery, and she doesn't pull through. It's a mind-blowing incident that impacts your life for eternity. And she did not have the ability to overcome that. Liver failure, it was not a good situation. But today, October 12th, 2023, she died October 12th, 1972, of liver failure. So what that does, it makes you a stronger person. It allows you to live with her legacy. It allows you to live life through what they wish they would have had. And you have to continue what the legacy is, and that is our moms and dads are what we're all about and how they raise us. And that was probably the greatest changing point of life, because it really created a sense of loss and a sense of how do you overcome it? You never do. You never do. Dying at 41 years old, she was an absolute charm and an absolute, people say you look like her. Well, I do. Got the hazel eyes. You've seen her picture.
Yes.
We have the same characteristics, and she was just one of those beautiful ladies who realistically didn't have to die that young, but was dealt a bad hand. But she always had that level of caring and that level of raising four kids who, by the way, graduated, all of them from the University of Oklahoma with a college degree. So she came from a great background, and unfortunately, she was in a bad position of being operated on on this day, October 12th of 1972, and didn't survive. But she was a beautiful lady who, without her, I would not be where I am today. And all I can say is, in probability, she looks down from above, where the Roanoke Star is, she looks down and says, you know what, I'm proud of what you've accomplished. And
Pat's doing okay.
He's doing okay. And there's always signs, by the way. We always wonder, like, when our moms and dads die, are there signs? There's always a sign. There's a little bit of a sign, that much, that she still understands, and she still sends that signal, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm doing great. I'm proud of you. And it could be a butterfly. It could be
A feather.
It could be a feather. Something that simple.